Welcome back to Conform to Transform, the
Yes.
podcast. Hey, Brian.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are
Good.
you
I'm
today?
doing good. This is like take five of us kicking this off and like trying to do this. We
Okay.
with lots of bloopers already. So here
So,
we are.
how's your day been today?
Really, really good. Yeah, it's
Okay.
been it's been awesome. It's been a very, very eventful day
Okay. What?
and kind of a long time coming. Yeah, so today is March 16th, 2025, obviously, and I got to be a part of baptizing my friend Connor Buffington at one church. Super good guy, one of my better friends, and his story is just incredible. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever I first met him, I don't know, was it close to like a year? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Feels short, but it's been a while. Um, I could just tell that there was just something special there, and that he was hungry, he was searching, he was seeking, but he was going through some of his stuff, and we've all been there. And with the experience that I had from the outside looking in,
Mm-hmm.
I could just tell that like God was working on him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so at one, we baptized what, 6 people today, I think,
Yeah.
totaling the number so far to 41. I was talking to
Mm-hmm.
Andy about that in the locker room
Yeah.
afterwards. Pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So just all of these just crazy signs and just things that are happening all the time that are just confirming that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Right. And
And
that
so,
brings us into our verse that we're going to be talking about today.
yes.
So, go ahead and read our verse for us.
Yes, and usually I have topics and things that I pick out before I read this. Me and Krista were just talking. I think we're going to try to start recording these on Saturdays instead of
Yeah.
Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sundays just get so busy. We come home doing some video production stuff for the church and
Mm-hmm.
just trying to get ready for the week.
Yeah.
And I think it just gives the enemy some really good opportunities to just make it not happen.
Right.
So Saturdays seem to be a little more wide open.
Uh-huh.
You were not yesterday because you were, I don't want to say out of town. It seems like
Yeah.
you're out of town, but you were downtown
I was.
overnight on Friday.
Yep.
And so, yeah, so we're finally circling around back to this, trying to get a little bit more consistent with this instead of once every 3 weeks or so, really wanting to nail these down on a weekly basis.
Right.
And so, just want to thank you for being patient with that. But I'm going to go ahead and read this verse. With all of that being said, I'll let Krista pick the topic today, and we're
Mm-hmm.
just going to go back and forth because it's usually me picking these things. And but today she did, and I'm going to be reading out of the ESV, the English Standard Version of the Bible, and it is out of Colossians 3:12 today. Verse 12 tells us, "Since God chose you to be the holy people He loves, you must clothe yourselves with tender-hearted mercy, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience." So, very good verse there, Krista. Why did you pick that verse?
Well, I was, we were contemplating over what our topic should be today.
Mm,
And one of the things that I keep hearing God say between, you know, being there with the baptism of Connor, the women that I'm witnessing to, and things, and I'm going to even make that wider.
awesome.
Things that my heart is just aching a little bit at the same time. We have all these good things going on, but I have to say that the division that I see happening around me due to political things is kind of heartbreaking and discerning.
Yeah,
I mean, not discerning, but just heartbreaking.
yeah.
And
think
I
every,
think
yeah.
I
I was
think
going to say, I
that
feel
we
like
need
everybody's
to
saying that.
right, and I think that we need to, as Christians, we have a job to do. And at Christians, Jesus sat at more tables than he flipped.
Yeah,
And when when your political stance is starting to become part of your identity, I think there's a problem.
yeah,
Because there's just so many different opinions about things that happen,
yeah.
right? So I that's where I'm going with this. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, my initial thoughts on this verse, really the way that I see this breaking down, since God chose you to be the holy people He loves, you must clothe yourself with tenderhearted mercy, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. I
Mm-hmm.
think what he's saying is that in a world where it's really hard to tell apart the Christians from the non-Christians,
Uh-huh.
is that He has set us apart on purpose. And
Right.
because He has done that, people need to be able to, like anybody in your life that hangs out with you for any
Right.
certain period of time should notice that there's something different about you.
Right.
And when I say something different about you, I'm not talking you're more talented, you're more,
Right.
not that, What I'm talking about is clothing yourself with that tenderhearted mercy, kindness, humility. Like,
Right.
why is that person so nice in the midst of this? How is that person so humble in the midst of accomplishing all of these things?
Hmm.
Um, that's the way that I see it, and
Yeah, me too.
patience especially, which is my
Yeah.
definitely my biggest challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's my point because as we're witnessing to more and more people and God starts trusting you with more people, you have to be willing to accept the differences in opinion. Those things cannot be what stands in the way of you witnessing. So for me, it's we as Christians fight harder for Jesus than you do for your political person, whichever side you're
yeah,
on, right? If you're posting things about Trump all the time or posting things about Biden all the time or any of those things and you're a Christian, are you posting as many things about Jesus?
yeah. I mean, I get
Right?
it. Yeah, I don't make political
Because
posts
no,
ever,
oh, I know. I'm
ever,
not saying
ever,
I'm not.
ever,
This
ever.
isn't
Yeah,
about you. This is just about something that's really on my heart.
yeah,
Because I see families, people in families arguing and severing their relationships over this. And for me, that's got to be spiritual warfare. And that has to be where Christians are going to take the lead in, hey, we can not agree politically, but I love you.
yeah. That
Right?
doesn't. Yeah,
And we're
but
not
yeah,
going to have this conversation because we don't need to have this conversation. We don't need to have a conversation about what's best for our country as Christians. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like that doesn't need to take over a relationship and witnessing to somebody.
yeah.
It shouldn't be part of our identity.
I don't even see it as witnessing at all. Like, I don't take that stance on it.
Exactly.
I just take
That's
the stance
exactly
on
it.
being who you are, and people will see the difference.
Right.
Bible thumping doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah, it just doesn't. And so, whenever you say like you're out witnessing to people and all of that other stuff, you're gonna
No.
offend the people
What
that
I'm
don't want to hear
saying is
about it.
that you should be witnessing and not having those conversations. That's not a part of
Yeah.
witnessing is my entire point.
Yeah, but also a point that I have is if you try to do that and somebody comes back with a political question, which they're going to,
Right?
how do you squash that? Like, that's going
I
to,
don't think that
you
they
may have the power to not ask that question, but
why
that doesn't mean that they won't,
why do you think that that's going to happen everywhere? That's not what I'm
because it is happening
saying.
everywhere. Bring
Like
up a
how? Give me an
bring up a
example of what you mean.
Facebook feed, bring up an X feed, bring up an Instagram feed, bring
I
up anything.
understand that
Scroll
part.
for more
That's
than two
that's my
seconds and
point.
see.
That's my
Yeah,
point. That's my point. Christians should not be doing that because here's not on their because your job is to sit at tables, not flip them,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I don't know what good it serves besides we're
It serves no good.
contributing to the division.
Yeah, it serves
And
no
that's
good
what's
at
breaking
all.
my heart.
Yeah.
We can't continue to and on top of that, and I know I'm stepping on toes and this is why it's
Oh yeah.
uncomfortable. But I think it needs to be said because I'm worried. I'm very worried about what I see. I'm worried about families who people are not speaking to each other anymore. I'm worried about all those things. I don't think it's okay. And it's a spiritual warfare. And I don't want to contribute to that spiritual warfare. And I don't think most Christians do either.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the thing. There's joy in being one of his chosen people. And we all can be his chosen people. You just need to accept it. But there's joy in doing that if you are loving people, like the verse says.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it.
Easier said than done,
It is easier
for
said than
sure.
done.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at the stance of you. Like, I've never, like, even before it was a problem, of this
Right.
stuff of like you could say the wrong thing and all of a sudden 9 family members are blocking you because
Yeah.
of something that you believe.
Yeah.
When in your mind you think they're just as crazy on the opposite end. It just goes both
Right.
ways. And so, yeah, I think that we've lost the art of being able to actually argue with each other
Right.
without hating each other in the
And
end.
as
Yeah.
Christians, we have to be the ones who aren't offended by the non-Christians when they say something.
Yeah, well,
And
we should be the most unoffendable people on the planet, and we are
exactly.
the most offended people on the
Exactly.
planet.
Come back, just love them. Love everybody. And that's what Christ would do, right?
Yeah,
He would just love people.
yeah, I
And
agree with
I'm
that.
not saying that you don't get to take, of course, sometimes you do have to flip tables as Christians. Sometimes we do. But
Yeah.
with your
That's the hard
neighbor,
part. When.
right?
Yeah.
With your neighbor who just needs some to be loved, that is not the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it shouldn't, like I said, I was telling Brian this today. I said, like, what's next? Are we going to be saying, whenever we're filling out forms, is it going to be name, date of birth, political party?
Yeah.
Um,
Feels
it's
like it.
not part of our identity, and that's where we're heading. And I want to identify as a Christian,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'm right there with you
And
as
we
well.
should all
Yeah.
want, as Christians, that's what our identity should be. And it's hard to identify as a Christian when you're arguing with people over their political beliefs.
Yeah. I mean, to the tune of the
Um,
fact that even this podcast episode right here is going to cause a lot of people to freak out and get mad and
get mad
take
about
side
what?
because
I'm
it's
not
political.
right. I'm not saying
I
political
know you
things.
said the word. All I'm saying is all it takes is the word political, and you're
Right.
done. There's going to be a whole bunch of
Right.
people
Because
hating
that's
on
the
it.
spiritual warfare
Yeah,
that
there'll be a
we
bunch of
have
people
to
hating on it just because
to
you said that word.
recognize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Um,
I don't have to recognize that. I'm not recognizing it. Like, I just stay away from it completely whenever it comes to social stuff.
yeah.
You know, it's the safest thing to do because it never ends well.
No, it
Ever.
doesn't.
There's going to be a whole bunch of people that are like, yeah, brother, yeah, that's so true, that's so true. And then some others that
Yeah.
think that you're the worst thing that's ever
Now, if
happened in
you
the history of
now, I'm
ever.
going to be totally transparent here. I follow a lot of things politically. I
Yeah,
really do. I think we have to.
I follow them. I don't comment
Right.
on any
We
of it.
absolutely have to. And if I want to comment on like a reporter's thing or something, I will do that.
Yeah.
What I'm not going to do is just argue with, everybody. I'm not doing that. Um, but that's the difference.
Hmm.
Like, I think.
Yeah.
Um, just I'm just sad. I'm just sad to see families break apart and people arguing all the time and the division that I see over everything.
Yeah.
And I'm also sad that we're at a point where we have to just agree with everything that a party's doing. And if we don't agree with everything that a party's doing, then there's something wrong too. It's just, and if you can't see that that's spiritual warfare, then you really need to pray about it.
Well, the people that don't see that it's spiritual warfare don't believe in spiritual
Right.
warfare. So now what?
So whose responsibility is it to not get involved in it?
Us.
It's ours.
Right.
Yeah.
But we do all the time. So I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, we need to somehow bring awareness to that, to just people to just. It's not saying don't ever just not say anything. Just like, don't get bored at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday and just spit your policy on immigration,
All right.
and then expect nothing to happen.
Right.
Right, and then just blows people away. They're like, I cannot believe that got blown up.
Right.
How can you not believe that it got blown up? Like,
Right.
do you live in this
Right.
year? Or yeah, I know.
Right.
It's wild.
And that's
Which
my
is why
thing,
I stay
because
away from it.
I just love people,
Yeah, me too.
and I don't not
You know
love
me,
somebody that's
I'll talk to a wall. Like, yeah,
right.
I love people too. Yeah, most
Right.
definitely. And
Right.
so the whole point is that if you're loving and you're being merciful and kind and humble and all of those things, people will know. The reason I don't say anything about all of my political stances is long term. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. And then also, if you hang out with me for more than 5 minutes and you don't know which way I lean, then I just kind of feel like I'm doing my job wrong in that 5 minutes.
No.
And I'm not
See, I feel
saying
the
like
opposite.
campaign or anything, but say that again.
I feel the opposite. I feel like
Do you think if people talk to you for 5 or 10 minutes, they don't know where you're going?
they don't.
Okay, well, yeah, that's pretty cool. I guess. I mean,
I just think
I don't
it's
know.
such a see. That's the thing. Like, when did it become part of your identity? That's again. So why is it assumed that I'm just going to call a spade a spade? Why is it assumed that if you're a Christian, you have to have voted right? If you're not, you voted left. When did that become a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know
So
plenty of good, decent, loving people that voted on both sides.
I
And
know.
yeah, and
And
like
that
that's
see
all
that's
yeah.
the thing. And it used to be a very personal thing. It used to not be this like I said, part of your identity.
Yeah,
It
like
used
you
to
could
be
tell
like
somebody that you voted for them. They may
way
laugh at you for 5 seconds, but then you just
right.
move on. Like, it's not even a thing anymore.
Right.
Now they base how they feel about you completely on one thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does. It
Exactly.
becomes your identity.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just because I might be against something doesn't mean that I voted one way or another. Um, these political leaders, they're human beings too, all of them. So am I going to agree with everything they do, whether I voted for them or I didn't? Of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not. And those who think that you have to, you really got to ask yourself. There's only one person as Christians that we should believe that knows it all and
Yeah.
doesn't make any mistakes.
Yeah. It's very,
And
very
that's
true.
Jesus Christ himself.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So, how did we get here? And I don't think that we'll be able to move past it until we humble ourselves, right?
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's our responsibility, and it has not even anything to do with the political world at all. Like, we're supposed to be doing this stuff anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's my
I mean,
point.
that's one of
So
the end
why do
results you're
we do
talking
it
about.
everywhere, but then when it comes to political stances, we're like,
Well, it's just crazy divisive. It goes
it
back to the
is.
spiritual warfare you're
That
talking
is. It
about
is a spiritual warfare, and
right,
that's just what I want people to start
right,
recognizing in
'cause
themselves. Even I want my Christians to even recognize it
yeah,
in themselves, because I want to be able to reach people. That's the whole idea. That's the whole purpose, right? That's our purpose.
yeah,
And I just wanted to really bring awareness to that because it's been on my heart lately. As I start to, as Jesus has started to bring more people in my life that I'm witnessing to. I just
Do you guys talk about politics, like in your small
no,
groups and
that's
stuff?
my point.
Okay, yeah,
No, but I don't want to do anything that causes me not to have that to be able to witness to that person.
yeah,
So, uh, yeah.
okay. I'm still a little bit lost on kind of where you're going, but I think I kind of know. I don't know. I'm just a little, yeah. We're just spitballing here. We're just talking about stuff,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, long story short, like we should have these qualities anyway. And if you're born again and you are close to Him, you're going to have these qualities. It's called being
Exactly.
fruitful.
So it's
And
kind of like asking yourself all the time, um, are you being tenderhearted? Are you showing mercy? Are you showing kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience?
yeah, by and
And
large, I think most people are not.
yeah,
Yeah, myself included. Some
yeah,
days, like
right.
this,
Me
this
too.
is not a
Me
judgy
too.
thing. This is
This isn't a
we
judgy thing at
we just got
all.
to be better about it.
We just got to do better.
Yeah, we have to be more conscious about it. Yeah,
And I think if ever there is a time that we have to be on our A game, it's now. Because
yeah,
people are looking for answers. I can't even imagine navigating through all this without Christ.
yeah,
Um, every day I say I feel like I'm in clown world with
yeah.
the way things are
Every day does
going.
feel like a movie.
Every day feels like, are you really? And it's not even only things in the political world; it's things
It's
personally
just
too.
normal real life. Yeah,
Because people are confused.
yeah,
People are lost. People are divided.
yeah.
And I think when you have it's like the perfect storm. So it's just creating this like circus world of
Yeah.
like, really? That we don't
Just a
understand.
little clowny. Yeah,
Right. And God will guide you through all of that.
yeah,
All of that. And that's what I'm saying. We don't feel the need to like shout from the rooftops about political things because we want to shout from the rooftops about Jesus.
yeah,
I want to shout through the rooftops about how if you turn your life over to Jesus, these things over here, these political loudness that is loud in everybody's head right now, I promise you it's loud in everybody's head, even if they don't talk about it, those things will seem minimal.
yeah.
Because to me, they do. To me,
They're very
I
minimal
pay
to me.
attention to them.
Yeah,
But my number one priority is winning people to the Lord and living my life for Jesus Christ.
yeah. I mean, my number one thing is just getting as close to Him as I can through the
Mm-hmm.
Word and
Yeah,
studying. And if I
exactly.
do all of those things, everything else is going to fall into place.
Exactly.
Like, I don't wake up being like, who's the 312 people that I can witness to today? I'm
Right.
just going to be myself and be these qualities, and the rest takes care of itself. I'm not
Yes.
going to overthink it. I'm not going to overdo it.
Exactly.
I'm not, and so whenever people come to you, that is biblical as well, when they ask you for the reason of your joy and your happiness, be prepared to give them an answer for it.
Right.
And, it's not a matter of standing up there with a bullhorn and all that other stuff.
Exactly.
It's just like, hey, you seem like really, really happy. Like the sky's falling around
Uh-huh.
you and everything's good. Why?
Uh-huh.
And then you can tell them.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And that's the thing. If ever there was a time that people need to see a difference in Christians and how happy and calm and at peace we are,
Yeah.
it's now.
Instead of just being like, this is my stance, this is right, you're wrong, sorry.
Yeah.
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 Which is what you see all over the place.
Yeah.
On both
Yeah.
sides.
On both sides.
Yeah, on both
And
sides. Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to avoid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say,
Yeah,
So,
and a good way of showing mercy, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience in those posts is to not look at them.
yeah,
That's what I do.
I
I just stay
I
away from
know.
it.
I do too.
Yeah, I
I
like
try
it.
to.
You'll never see me
Except
comment
for
on
the
a.
school stuff. Sometimes
Yeah,
but that's just
yeah.
because I'm afraid for my job.
Just because it never, ever, ever ends well, ever. And I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry, but I am way too busy to have 6 hours worth of arguing conversations on social media that's not going
Right.
anywhere. I
No.
don't have time for
And I
that.
want to
I
be
wish I
clear
had time
again,
for
like
that. I don't
you
have time
have
for
to
that.
stay informed.
Yeah.
Don't just ignore things completely. And you're allowed to have your own opinion in your mind about all of it,
A
of
billion percent.
course.
Yeah, for
A
sure.
billion percent.
Right. I
A
just stay
billion
away from it because
percent.
it does, like, I'm not going to fix anything nor break
Mm-hmm.
anything if I just shut up.
Right. Right.
More than anything. Yeah. And
Right.
that's the way I do it. That's just, not to mention, I don't like confrontation. You know this.
Oh no,
So
I know.
why would I generate a situation that creates confrontation that doesn't make my life better for no
Uh-huh.
reason? Just so I
Right.
could argue with somebody that I love
Right.
for 8 hours.
Right.
Who has time for that?
Nobody.
I don't get it.
I don't
Back
get
to
it
the
either.
old gif. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody, they really, really don't. I don't understand. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. This is a very, very good version, and there's 1,000 more in the Bible just like this. I mean, it's
Right.
pretty standard. Like, God chose you to be set apart as one of His followers, and if you are
Mm-hmm.
set apart, you're going to be different.
Yeah.
If you call yourself set apart and nobody knows,
Yeah.
sorry, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
I mean, it's
And you can show
really
that you're set apart by not getting involved
right.
in political debating.
Yeah,
And like I said, there's a difference between standing up for what's right and political debating, and you know what that is.
yep.
And
Like, I already
that's
know
it.
this podcast right here is going to generate, like, I'm going to be having conversations with people about this now afterwards, like, after it's out there. I know we're going to get pinged by some people. You know you are, for
Okay.
sure. It just, and so here we go. Like, it's funny because you can't even talk about not talking about it, and then you still get
See,
involved
that's
in
the
it.
thing.
So
That's
I'm not
exactly
getting
it.
involved in it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, I won't. So just trying to think of some other like parallel verses that go with. I mean, they're just all over the place. Be holy because I'm holy.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just a million of them.
Biting your tongue and
Yeah, I'm not good at that. So I'll just
yeah.
try to bite my tongue. I mean, there are things I'm really really good about biting my tongue on for sure. This is included for sure. And
Even
so
fools are thought wise if they keep silent and discerning, if they hold their tongues.
yeah, say that again.
Proverbs 17:28.
Read it again.
Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent and discerning, if they hold their tongues.
So that's pretty much saying stupid people don't sound stupid if they don't talk.
There
Like,
you
read that out loud again. Did I paraphrase that one good?
When
Stupid
even a
people aren't
fool.
stupid when they don't open their mouth.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, that's the Brian translated version, I
Right.
guess. Yeah, just right down to earth. So, yeah, so in other words, just because you have something to say doesn't mean you should.
Right.
Yes. I'm really bad about that. If we
Right.
ever get in heated arguments and
Just
stuff,
because you have
me
an
and you,
opinion
there's
doesn't mean
times
everybody else
it'll
does
come out of my
too.
mouth and I'll be like, there was zero reason to say that at all. That was stupid. So, yes. And I know I threw the word
Right.
stupid around there plenty of times. I'm saying that because I'm stupid. And there are times that I am. I'm not speaking that into my life, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe stupid was too strong of a word. Not wise. Not wise. There you go. For all the people that are going to get offended by the word stupid, I'll say not wise. Yes, indeed.
The other thing that's been, I'm going to be transparent here again. The other thing that, and this is a different topic, but I'm just going to switch gears a little bit.
Sure.
The other thing that has been on my mind is we are I think both of us, one thing on my heart is moving forward is to really concentrate on helping women who are unhappy in their marriage or their marriage is going through a little bit of a trial period and how to navigate that and with Christ helping and guiding you through that. So one of the things that I thought that needed to be next for us is that we needed to really, and I know we've talked about it before, but we have not done it. And Pastor Andy confirmed it today in his message today.
Great message today, by the
Yeah,
way.
it was a great
Anyway.
message today. So I want us to start doing devotions together.
Oh, yeah.
And
We've tried.
I know we've got to
Okay.
find the perfect we got to find the right content. We've tried.
I have 10 books that are going to be just fine. We just got to do it.
Yeah, but I want to. Okay, yeah, yeah. So I think that's gonna be our next step
Mark
for
Batterson's got a
us.
really good one that we were going to get started on a few months back, and then just things happened and we just didn't do it.
Right.
So
See, that's
I
the
do tons
thing.
of it on my own. You do some on your own. But yeah, it's
Right.
very, very important. It does make a huge difference what he was saying. That is switching gears a little bit, but it's fine because
No, I just
no,
we're
no, no. It's
like,
yeah.
yeah.
This is what we do. We just
Yep.
we just talk about stuff for a while.
Yeah.
There is a humongous difference when we pray together,
Uh-huh.
when we read the Bible together, when we do devotions. You can just tell.
Right.
It affects your life. It's
It
just true.
does. It
And there's some
does.
real statistical stuff out there that I could say, but I'm not going to because then people are just going to disagree with it and say that I've got confirmation bias because I'm a Christian.
Right.
And yeah, maybe, sort of, I kind of do. But I know for a fact with my own eyeballs, and I can pretty much everything that I say when it regards Christ in these right here is based off life experience.
Yeah, of
This
course.
isn't me reading off stats if somebody else has been there and done that.
Right.
This is Brian been there and done that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've noticed a humongous difference in our life whenever we do those things together.
Yeah, me too.
It makes a big difference.
Me too. And that's why the enemy tries to keep us from
Yeah,
doing that.
exactly. That's why,
Um,
and that's why it feels awkward. Even Andy was saying, like, after you've been married for a while, like, there's, and you can, I'll admit it. I don't know if you ever felt it, but whenever we were like praying together and stuff like that, it feels weird.
It does.
It feels
What is
awkward.
that?
I don't.
What is that?
I don't know. I don't know. Like we talk to each other all
That's
the time,
weird.
obviously. But
We're obviously the most intimate with each other than we are with anybody else. So
Correct.
why can't
Yes.
we pray together?
Well, I hope so.
Well,
I'm just
yeah.
kidding. But yeah, I know. No, it's just weird. It's awkward. It's strange. It's yeah, I don't know. It just feels weird. I don't know
Yeah.
if you're like judging the other person's prayer skills or something, or
Right.
just
So we just,
it's goofy, and I
yeah.
don't know why.
And that's the enemy keeping us from
It
doing
is.
it from a reason.
Yeah, I agree because it's insanely powerful.
Yeah.
That's why marriages don't. I mean, by and large, don't last super long because
Yeah.
the institution of a rock solid marriage of people that love and trust each other and that grow together and that are truly two hearts that come together as one. That's
Yeah.
a very, very powerful thing.
Right.
Super
So
powerful thing.
I'm in the middle of Power of the Praying Wife and leading that circle.
Yep.
So I'm also in the middle of doing it myself. So if I can pray that fiercely for you, why won't I pray that fiercely with you?
I don't know. It's weird.
Right?
Yeah.
And I know that you pray for me too.
Sometimes. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I do. Like all the time.
So why
Quite
can't
often.
we pray together?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
It's weird.
and so I want you guys, I wanted to say that for because I want to be held accountable to it, and I want to be able to also report to you guys on how that changes things. And um, as you know, our marriage has taken a total transformation, and I think this is just the
Yeah.
next step
Yeah.
in our marriage and in our ministry and just everything all together. I think it will make us
Yeah.
better
It's all
together.
God's timing, per usual, how it goes.
Yeah.
Because I've got some really exciting opportunities coming up too, as far as conform to transform goes,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that we can reach and the things that we can do, and just really just the desires of my heart and the personal goals that I have
Yeah.
for this ministry and where I see it going. Things are just lining up
They are.
exactly like they're supposed to
Yeah.
in every single aspect of everything.
And
so.
and I know like about a month ago, and I can't even remember exactly. It might come back to me. But there was something that transpired and that you did, and I wish I could remember exactly what it was.
Valentine's
But it was
Day.
that moment. I was sick I had the flu on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, best present ever.
But it was that
That was
moment
so crazy.
that I was like, okay, he really is a man of God now. This really is my husband, and this isn't going to be taken from me.
That was just a month ago?
Yeah, it took that long. I mean, not like I was telling.
It's news to me, audience.
No, I was telling Connor's wife, the one that got
Oh,
baptized,
yeah,
with
same.
Sierra, that the same thing. I said,
No, and I get it. I see what you're
it's
saying.
not like it was just completely. It was steps.
Yeah,
For,
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, we've been doing good for a while. Yeah.
Right, but it was finally I can let that fear go, if that makes sense. And like I never now these days I never have that.
Oh, you
That
always had that
question
thing in the back of your
my
head,
head.
like maybe he could just go start doing those things
Maybe
again.
he can go take
Yeah.
a drink again.
I'd be worried
And-
about it if I wasn't me.
Right,
You know
but
what I mean?
I'm finally at peace into the.
Good.
It's weird.
Yeah, like I know for a fact I'm never going to again,
It's
but just because I know
nice.
for a fact doesn't mean you do.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'd rather be
It's
shot in the face at close range with a shotgun than to do that ever
Right.
again.
And
Because I know how it ends.
yeah, and it's a wonderful feeling for me. And all glory to God. All
Yeah,
glory
for
to
sure.
God for sure.
100%. Nothing else
Um,
makes sense. Yeah.
Nothing else does make sense.
Yep. That's why you want like all these things, and I love it because the things that are happening in my life can only be explained
Right.
by God,
And it's
which
also
is
part of me, I went from a marriage where my ex-husband traveled quite a bit. He did. And we weren't a Christian home, and he traveled quite a bit. So I already started to become independent because he traveled so much. And then I went to being a single mom, and that independence just grew. And then you went through all your things, and I had to be independent because you weren't 100% there, you know?
about 15, 20%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's also been being the biblical wife and absolutely letting you be the leader of our home. And I think part of that was um, when Chloe, I don't even know if we've talked about this on our podcast yet.
I don't know. I've told several people, but I don't know if it ever made it
No,
to
yeah.
this. Yeah.
So Chloe, who, I've been praying for my kids' salvation for a while, but I'm letting them take their time because I wanted them to know that we're sold out. And I think they know we're sold out now for different reasons.
You got to do
And
this.
here's one of my reasons.
Yeah.
Chloe, yeah, back to our verse.
Can't
They've
Bible
seen
thump.
it in
Can't Bible
us.
thump them. Won't work.
No, I'm not Bible thumping them. They've
complete.
just witnessed a difference in us.
Yeah.
And here's my example. Chloe comes to our room, and it was bedtime, so we were in bed, and she says, "Hey, I wrote a paper at school, and it's about Brian," and I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Um,
I can tell a story if you're gonna lose
yeah,
it.
go ahead.
Okay. All right. Krista's on break. So yeah, she was in our room and she said, "Hey Brian, I want to let you know you changed my mind on something." And I was just like, I thought it was gonna be something silly, like some Taylor Swift or Kanye West related
Yeah.
or something like that, because that's usually what we would go goof and joke about. But she said, "I believe now that people can change, and there's a lot of people out there that think that people can not change." And I kind of somewhat believe that as well. I believe that you yourself cannot change,
That without God.
but you can be changed like immediately,
Yeah.
overnight. And she said that I believe that people can change now, and she literally is writing a school paper about my transformation,
Yeah.
which is nuts. And she's like our most scholarly child, I would have to say.
Uh-huh.
That's not diminishing anything,
No,
but like
no.
what I'm saying is she takes her school stuff so seriously that she would actually land on that as a topic that was just mind blowing. And I just had to
Right.
sit back and just be like, yeah, I mean, only God can do that. Like,
And
I
that's
had
an
nothing to do
example
with that.
of what can happen if you live your life
do this.
according
Yeah.
to our verse.
Yeah, and what I beat into the guys all the time whenever we're talking is just the one thing that I can say has made the biggest difference is just doing a whole bunch of small things over and over and over and over and over and over again. Small things.
Yeah.
Atomic habits. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Living kind of die by that, and it even pertains to the Christian life as well. Those very, very small things, those praying together, the getting into the Word every single day, that it's praying without ceasing, talking to God all the time, seeing people through His eyes instead of
Yeah.
your own. And as you grow in the Word and you get closer and closer, you start doing these things all the time. And so what people are looking for. Connor even said this to me too, and it's just so touching because all glory to him again is that he sees consistency,
Yeah.
and that's what our children need to see.
They need
to see. They're like, oh yeah, that's all well and good. I mean, I know I have tons of friends, tons of relatives, and all that I guarantee you they think this is a phase for us.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
what
yeah.
we're into right now, and it's not. But they won't know that until
Right.
way later down the road.
And they're looking for it.
Oh, of course,
They're
they're
looking for.
waiting.
They're waiting.
Waiting
There
for
have
me
been
to screw up.
That's just funny because there's been times when I've been really, really tired,
Yeah.
and the girls will be like, "Have you been drinking, Mom?" It's like they're wanting.
Well, I don't think they're wanting it.
They're not wanting
They're
it, but
cautious.
they're
Yeah.
cautious.
They
is what I
definitely
should
don't
say.
want it.
And
But
I'm
there
like,
are people
"No."
that do.
Right.
There are people that want this to stumble and fall, so they can just be like, "Yep, see, told you," which would
Right.
be an insanely damaging witness completely.
Yes.
Which is why it makes me take it even more seriously.
Right.
Like
I mean,
you
we're
know,
human. We're
yeah,
human.
right. I mean, there's some things I'm gonna
Yeah,
mess up
like,
on, but there's also some things.
sometimes, a
but
curse
there's-
word slips out.
But there's no, but there's some things that I'll mess up on every single day. But there are some things that I never will
Right.
ever. Non-negotiable, not happening. You got to
Exactly.
kill me first.
Yeah.
Yeah, before any of those things will happen. And so consistency is key,
Yeah.
which I preach on and bark about like all of the time. And
Yeah.
even if I preach 1,000 sermons, there's going to be a touch and a
Yeah.
taste in every single one of them about consistency.
Yeah.
Just being, I mean, Jesus was consistent. He's a
Yeah.
model of consistency. He went away every single
Yeah.
night to pray. Have you noticed that? Like when you're reading
Mm-hmm.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, all of those, all the time,
Yeah.
Jesus went alone to pray.
Yeah.
Like there was times he had to go recharge his batteries, and he's like, I got to talk to God right now,
Yeah.
and he did it all the time.
Yeah.
And being the person that was the closest to the Father that's ever existed,
Yeah.
that's who we have to model ourselves after.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really crazy because the Bible is this big, thick, complicated book that's just full of life and all those other things. But you can really boil it down to, if you want to live your best life possible, model one guy. This right here. And everything in the Bible revolves itself around that.
Yeah.
Everything goes around that.
Right.
And so, I mean, this is a really, really good life verse that you found.
It
Like, I don't know
is.
if you closed
Like,
your eyes and just pointed. Like, I don't know. How did you find this? So I know it was quick, and I know
it's
it honestly felt random to me.
it
But
was pretty random. Okay, so let me tell you. For me, I've said this before on the podcast. For me, God like has to be very, very clear with me. I'm getting better about discernment. Um, but I also think that God knows how to talk to me.
yeah, because I talked to all of us, right?
Um,
He'll speak
so
in a language to you that's
yeah,
way
yeah.
different than me. Yeah.
So for me, it was already on my heart what I kind of wanted to talk about today. And but I didn't know for sure. So I said, I'm going to type in
Yeah.
verse of the day and see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
And I didn't even give it a topic. You can see my Google search history if you want. And I said verse of the day. Okay. And I clicked the first one that came up, and it was that one. And I'm like, goes with my topic.
Interesting.
God's given me confirmation.
Is that the verse of the day today?
It's on one of the apps. I mean,
Bible
all I
app?
did was Google verse of the day.
Interesting. I'm just looking just real
It's not the
quick.
verse of
What
the day
goes-
that comes up on
No,
there.
it's not.
No.
It's not. That's a pretty good one too. But anyway,
Yeah, see, it's right here. I did verse of the day, NIV. There's my Google search
Yeah.
history. I clicked the first one that came up, and there it is. Crazy, right?
that is crazy.
But those are the things he does to me all the time because that's kind of how
That's how he
God and I
does.
talk to
Yeah.
each other.
That's what I was telling Andy, I was telling Andy today and lots of other people. It's just every single day something crazy happens. Like the thing that I ran into yesterday with one of my friends that I went and just hung out with him. Was doing some technical stuff for him, and we just sat down. I talked to him and his wife for like 2
Yeah.
hours, and it ended up being something that I think is going to be a humongous kingdom thing. I'm
Yeah.
going to stay quiet about it for right now, but if this goes the way that it looks like it's going to,
Yeah.
it's going to mean some pretty crazy things.
And I
for
think
this
we
ministry.
also have to take a moment on this podcast to give God some praise for something in your life. What would that be?
Oh yes, I began my new endeavor at
I know.
in Anderson. Yeah, at Mammoth. It's so awesome. I've been going for this job for a while here now, and he just totally hooked me up with something that I've been wanting to do since like 2008 to 2010 ish. I was in a position at a place at another construction company I just loved. Like I knew that's what I was supposed to do with the mentors I had around me and all of that. And so still IT related of sorts, but I'm kind of still be doing that, but backing off that a little bit and getting more towards process things, really, really modeling some certain software packages to reach, some business metrics and things like that. And so, yeah, that was just super duper exciting. And just every day is just one thing
Yeah,
after
and I
another.
get to
So,
go and say I'm married to a data scientist.
yes, you can. Yes, you are.
I'm a data nerd anyway, so
Yes, indeed. And I've always been a weird numbers guy anyway. So like I feel like this has been etched in stone since I was like 5.
yeah,
Yeah, indeed. And it's just everything about it matches my personality to a T.
yeah,
And so, yeah, it's just really, really good. Every day he's just doing crazy things where I just got to step back and just be like, there he goes again. There he goes again. And it shouldn't surprise me, but it does every single
Right.
time. And not so much surprising, just like, it makes you wonder just why he just keeps doing it. You know what I mean? It does to me anyway. And that's, Andy kind of touched on that as well today. Like some of this grace that we get, there's so many things that I have that I don't deserve.
Oh,
It happens
yeah.
all the time. So many things I have that I don't deserve at all. So
Yep.
that's where I'm at with that stuff.
Just a grateful heart.
Yeah, very grateful heart. Yeah, I mean, gratitude's huge. I harp on that all the time to the point to where I still write down every single day 3 things
Mm-hmm.
that I'm grateful for and try to
Mm-hmm.
make it different every single time.
Yeah.
Once you get past the normal, my wife, my job, my car, my dog, all those things, like once you actually start looking for the things that you are grateful for, it's weird. More stuff starts coming your way.
Yeah.
It's like that quote that I really, really like. When, what is that quote? So crazy. I always lose it on the tip of my tongue. When you talk about all of the things that you have, you'll always get more. When you talk about the things you don't have, you'll never have enough.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two different ways to look at it. And you can tell people's personality
All right.
types by this. Like they're very, very content. Like they're being blessed like crazy, but they're super happy with it, super grateful, super thankful, and they always end
Mm-hmm.
up getting more, right?
Right.
And then the people that focus on all the things that they don't have and how much life sucks and all those other things,
All right.
it gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
It's the whole the rich get richer and the poor get poorer thing. I mean, it's
And it's
and
not.
you know me,
It's not. It doesn't have to be materialistic.
no,
It
but
can
I'm a
be.
big believer in mindset. It makes a humongous difference. Your attitude makes an enormous difference
Right.
about everything. So, like, if you're seeking the goodness of God and
Yeah.
His blessings and His forgiveness and all those other things, you're going to continue getting those.
Right.
If you focus on thinking that God's mean and that He's punishing you and
Right.
that you never have enough, and why does this person have more than I have, or why does that person getting this
Yeah.
job and I'm not getting it? That's called envy, and that
Right.
is not good.
No.
And that's
And
just going to take you further the other way.
if you
So,
change your mindset and what you think blessed is,
correct.
then you'll
Yeah.
blessed to me is that I am
Right.
free to worship my God. I am free to go to
Yeah.
church. I am free to meet with my fellow believers.
Yeah.
And blessed to me is God putting people in my life that I can witness to.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then
That's
you've
being
been blessed your
blessed.
entire life and you can die now.
Yeah,
Because,
that's
like,
the way I see it.
yeah, yeah,
That's all the other things. Are they nice? Of course. Do I
yeah,
like having my nice warm home?
yeah.
Of course. Um,
It's pretty cold down here today, though. When you
it
say
is a little
warm
chilly down
home,
here
yeah,
today.
it's pretty chilly
But
home.
for me,
It's cold.
that's being blessed.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I think too on the flip side of that, he wants to bless you with the things.
He wants to give you the desires of your heart,
Yes.
is the way that it's put.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Like, I work with a lot of guys all the time, and we talk about, I mean, as men, we measure success. It's what guys do. But if you
Hmm.
ask somebody, well, I just want to be successful, then
Right.
you ask, what does that mean?
Right.
They can't answer it. Because, like, what does success mean? To success, like somebody could own a corner gas station. Like they've thought about that their whole
Hmm.
life. They own it, they do it, they work there every day, they see people, they're
Right.
extremely happy. To them, that is super duper successful.
Yeah.
Some people want to make 15 grand a year. Some people want to make $3 million a year. I mean, it's just everybody's got a different definition of success. And to me, success is seeking that kingdom first. And then
Hmm.
he's going to bless you with all of the things that he's preordained and the purpose that he has for your life.
Exactly. That's
And
all I
so
want.
we as people, we definitely need to set goals and go for them and get,
Hmm.
all of these things. But the whole point is that you need to seek him first. And
Yeah.
what you'll find is that the goals that you set and the things that you're going for may have nothing to do with what he wants to do with you.
And
And it's always better.
it might
And
just
he'll
be
blow your
yanked
mind.
right out from under
Yeah,
you.
exactly. And that's why
Hmm.
I almost wanted to talk about this topic today is the power of God's no. Because when you hear God's no, some people throw temper tantrums and say, well, God hates me. This doesn't make any sense. But if you can take the mindset and the perspective of he's saying no to this because he's going to say something, he's going
He's
to
gonna
say
say
yes
yes
to
to something
something
that's more
that you
amazing.
don't know that is more amazing because his plan will blow anything that you have planned out of the water
A
times
hundred
times a
percent.
million. So
Yep.
yeah, yeah, it's all about mindset. I always land back on Romans 12 too. Go figure. Yeah, changing the way you think,
Yeah.
changing the way you think, and you do that by seeking God first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had on that topic.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to chat about, or
I think I'm
I think I'm good
good.
too. Until next week, we're gonna try to do this Saturday instead next week, so we can knock out another one.
Yeah. And we will let you know. Hopefully, we get started on studying the word together, doing some devotions
Oh, we
together,
will.
and
No, we'll
praying
start tonight.
together.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are challenge accepted. Like,
Challenge
yeah, you made a
accepted.
mistake saying that, especially whenever you said you wanted people to hold us accountable. So
I do
yeah,
because
okay.
I want
I've already
to.
got the book.
Yeah,
Look,
I want to be transparent about, I'm sure the enemy's going to attack us a little bit when we try to do this. So, but I want to be transparent about the whole thing and
if you
how,
tell me we're doing it, I'll make us. You're gonna hate me some days, but
yeah,
we'll do it.
because I think the whole point is that I'm starting to see that the whole point of our ministry is not one of the points of our ministry. I shouldn't say the whole point of our ministry, but one of the points of our ministry is going to be, should be being transparent about navigating life as a married
Yeah,
couple.
yeah, yeah,
Because I really think that one of our, I know that for me, one of my callings is I want to help in marriages. I want to,
yeah.
because I want to be,
It's definitely your big thing.
it
Yeah,
is,
for sure.
it
And it's kind
is.
of a side
And
mission that we're both doing together, but it wasn't my first mission setting out whenever I first started doing
no, I
this. It's
know,
kind of turned into that a little bit.
I know.
Yeah.
Um, and you've got your other things that are going to be fine. Um, but I think that's, and what I have been through has like you said, God has a plan already. It's already
Yeah.
all mapped out.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why I've been through these things. Not just with you, but I don't know if I haven't talked much about what went through with my ex-husband, but I've had a lot of trauma as a wife.
You have.
And and so just those things. How has my heart not been bitter, and how has God been able to soften that?
Yeah.
And he saved my marriage.
Yeah.
He saved our marriage,
Yep.
and that
No
was the
doubt.
desire of my heart. And um, it's just a miracle to me. I still cry about it now.
It makes me emotional sometimes
It
too.
does.
Yeah.
I think I cried about it in church this morning when he was saying some things about marriages. I can't remember exactly what, but it just made me think again of the miracle that God's put in our lives. And
Over and over.
over and over.
Yeah.
And
It's all the
this
time.
is the biggest one. And instead of being sad that it happened, I'm gonna be,
Yeah.
use it for good.
Yeah. I put it behind me completely. And I know
Yeah.
some people are better at that than others. But you
Right.
mentioned that too. Like you just got to set that to the side and don't like. I never wake up in the morning and just like feel guilt and shame about a few years ago, like it ruins my day.
No, no,
It
of
crosses
course
my
not.
mind as like, yeah, that was pretty crazy, and thank God that he
Yeah,
saved me from that. But like, I don't
of
rest on
course
those
not.
laurels ever. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, and that's why I feel like I can say these things now
yeah,
because
yeah,
you will stand in agreement with me that yeah, from my side, I went through those things in the receiving end for a reason,
yeah,
right? And that's the thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
So I really, if you are a wife and you're in a position where you're just in a low in your marriage, please consider joining Power of the Praying Wife, or even just get the book on your own and just dive in. But reach out to me. I can always help guide you through it. And
Yeah,
with God, to God be the glory.
that's right.
I'm witnessing to somebody else who's in that position, and I'm surprised. Like I'm not well spoken all the time, especially I've never met this person in real life. We've talked on the phone several times, but that's one of the things. Sometimes I'm like, this is God totally talking because I would never say that on my own, and
Yeah,
that's the amazing
yeah.
part.
He says he'll put if you're in front of somebody that you need to help minister
Uh-huh.
to, he will put words in your mouth for you.
Right.
Yeah, he promises that.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
especially if you're praying for it and seeking it. So
yeah.
cool. All right. Well, happy Sunday, y'all. And it's really cold today, but it's really weird. We had really, really warm weather. Supposed to have one
Hmm.
nasty day today,
Yeah.
and then it's going to be awesome again tomorrow, moving forward. So,
Yeah.
anyway, I'm excited about it. All right. Well, hope you all have a good rest of your week and
Yeah.
really appreciate you guys. We shall talk to you later.
Yeah.
See ya.